it done? I'm going to think that it's done. All right, Mark. I'm excited. Today we are talking about something that
is near and dear
really
to
important to me. That, you know, Twitter is something that when I first signed up, gosh, it was 2009, I wasn't sure about it. I didn't know, how is this going to help us in our business? What are all these people talking about? And I didn't know anybody on, so I didn't have anyone to ask about it. And now, when I talk to any remodelers or anyone in construction who wears a tool belt all day long, they're like, Twitter, I don't understand all the, like, what they're talking about, all these little, like, hashtag things, and what's a Twitter chat, and how do you follow along? What is happening when you go on to those things?
And if you're anything like me, how does it make me money? Because that's why we wake up in the morning. We're not doing this for the greater good of Crown Molding.
I have to say, Mark, that's not why I wake up in the morning. It's just to make money. Money is a tool in order to have a comfortable and a safe.
Three social media awesomenesses who have joined us because they've taken over the Twitter sphere.
No, our sound is bad.
It sounds really bad.
Stand by for technical difficulties.
Oh. It's feedback. Somebody's looping.
Yes. What is happening?
This is actually a song I just wrote.
Yeah, we just
Tim Williams is going to perform it.
We just learned how to talk robot. It's kind of crazy.
You just...
It sounded like
it sounds like it stopped now.
That was supposed to be
well,
at the
I muted the producer. I muted the producer, so it was looping. You had feedback.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wild.
Yeah, so you guys all do construction chat every week. And, you know, we've been participating in that. And we participate in some other chats that happen every week, too. And I find a lot of really interesting people through these chats and stay on top of what's going on in the industry. And for people that aren't on the chats, for the guys that you guys talk to that wear tool belts all day long, what do you say to them when you're talking about coming on and joining the construction chat? Anybody can take this question.
Well, everybody has different time zones and different requirements and different, joining a Twitter chat is different than just joining Twitter. Twitter chat's like the 301 of being on Twitter. It's like being at a networking mixer. So it's more of a commitment, and there are some people that use it, but a lot of it is the in-house social media managers.
Okay.
I would agree with that. It's a more advanced tool within Twitter. I mean, just being on Twitter is not so difficult, but I think being on a chat or running your own chat, it's a lot more advanced.
Absolutely.
So we really just want them to get on Twitter. That's the first
Twitter
step.
Chats are a little more advanced. So
because they have to be available at that exact time, too.
Or
we
feedback
have
looping.
major tech difficulties going on.
Huh.
We're just too awesome.
Right,
You
which
can't
is
handle
difficult
us.
for people who...
No, we can't. You guys have bringing the power today for this chat. Now,
Wow. Has everybody muted the producer? How about that? That seemed to work once. Why not do it 5 times?
Let's see.
Not Mark and Theresa, just the still one. There you go.
Yep.
We're muted on this end, so now that
Yeah.
everyone knows how we put our Google Plus Hangouts together.
yeah, and that's something that we should talk about sometime is getting on Google Plus and what that means. But that's a whole another
That's a whole
huge
other...
commitment.
giant thing.
So what kind of reaction, I'll ask Bridget, what kind of reaction do you get from guys when you talk about Twitter?
Usually they want to know what the ROI is, or they want some kind of immediate sea monkey-like result. Or, see, this is what people forget. In contracting, we're selling a service. We're not selling this shiny, new, sexy widget. So we're selling the person. I'm selling Tom. I'm selling our designer. I'm selling our superintendents. I'm selling our service, our reputation, our quality of work, our subcontractors. That's based on reputation. And then, so what's the most important thing? The relationship. The relationship is the most important thing. So that's where you meet people on Twitter. I don't meet people on LinkedIn. I don't meet people on, Facebook. I meet people on Twitter. So Twitter is where you're going to be the gateway of meeting new people, whether they're local to you or what, because you never know who's behind the face and who they know.
That's exactly right. It's all about the relationship. So you are meeting other brands or the person behind the brand, and you don't know how many other brands that one person is supporting. If it's a social media manager, like I support a number of different brands, and not all in construction either, and in different parts of the world as well. So one person can connect you to a number of different people. So
that's a very good point. One person really can connect you to a much larger region, or even just on an industry level, they can connect you so that you start learning more about some of the issues and the government relations and the regulatory information and stuff from that perspective as well. So absolutely, it's about connecting you with other customers and prospects, and maybe learning more about what the consumers want, but it also can be, at least for my clients, can also be very telling from a government relations standpoint and the regulations that perhaps other contractors are dealing with across the country.
So from the boots in the mud perspective, which normally it's my face in the mud, so I'm champion of this here at MyFixitUpLife. The smaller company, we're talking 2, 3, 4 guys, not a crew of 30, not framing a subdivision. Most of the industry is that guys in pickup trucks.
Mm-hmm. We're
they might have just gotten decals or whatever.
I'm one of 5. Right. We're the small business.
To me, you're a giant company.
No, we're 5. I'm one of 5.
To me, that's a small business. When I hear government and regulatory, and then they say small business, and they say we have 300 people working in our factory. Like, that's not a small business.
No.
That's a gigantic
I'm office
business.
manager. This is my office. This is my work I'm not doing right now because I'm with you.
But
it's that small.
The long way around to my question is, for that smaller guy, I can tell from everything you've said, which I totally get, it's pie in the sky. It's very conceptual. How does that get someone to send them an email?
I don't know that it's conceptual, but it is a long game.
Yes.
I met a real estate broker. I found him. He works in our exact industry. He's in our exact county. He works with our clientele. I set up a lunch. I went to lunch with my boss and him, and we've already gotten referrals both ways. Yeah. So I met him on Twitter.
And I met Bridget on Twitter back when I was working for a plumbing company, San Jose Plumbing, and so we connected, and then I met the people who run Window Works through Bridget because she knew them, and they were in Southern California, but they wanted to move up to Northern California, so that's where I am.
I've met a lot of small contractors, one-shop painters. I do a lot of work with painters, and there's one in particular in the Denver area that he uses Twitter, and he is able to grow and expand his business just through networking on there as well.
Now, do you think that, being on social networking like Twitter for remodelers these days is something that's important because customers actually go on?
Who looks at the Yellow Pages? I haven't looked at a Yellow Page book in 10 years. I would go to Twitter. I would go to Google, and when you search on Google...
Who should I ask?
Let's ask Tess.
Let's ask Tess.
What's that? I'm sorry, there was a cutout. Could you please repeat the question?
They're having trouble.
Yeah, I
with
can't
the internet.
When, you know, we are, I guess, having a little bit of trouble. I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's okay.
We'll try to muscle through. So these days, with people that are looking on social networking, not to just find out, do you do good work and get referrals, that the work is quality, but also trying to find out the personality of a company, looking through a Twitter feed. Is that something that you're finding customers are doing too?
Absolutely. I think that one of the great things about Twitter is it's a different audience. It's a different audience than what you would find on LinkedIn or Facebook. You have a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business people on LinkedIn or on Twitter as well. So contractors are able to also network with people in their region and able to have those conversations about what happened on the football game last night, or what are some of the community projects that they're working on together. It's a completely different way of networking than what you would find in maybe some of the other social media aspects, because it actually is much more conversational with only 140 characters.
I find too that for a small contractor, it's possible to do a local search. You know, for example, a plumber could search on something like a broken water heater or broken toilet. So, you know, right in the moment, you can find somebody who needs your services.
Right.
And you can connect with that person.
Now, I have a question, Carol. So thinking about social networking and pre-Twitter, you know, before Twitter happened and people were connecting online, do you think that people that are on Twitter, when they are communicating sort of in a daily way with each other, who aren't really working side by side in, you know, different trades and everything, when they're together, does it make them more cohesive? Like they have more things in common to talk about? Like, is it bonding? Is it a bonding experience being on Twitter?
Oh, definitely, because I see the same people all the time on Twitter, and you know who's active, you know who only checks the feed maybe once a month, which doesn't make a lot of sense if you're on Twitter, because it is so in the moment. Definitely it's bonding.
It's the water cooler without geography.
Yes. Yes.
This is how we bond as humans. Small talk.
Yep.
How was your day?
Genius.
Did you see this show? Thank you.
It is the water cooler, because I log on and I'm on Twitter constantly all day long because I consider it my personal news feed.
Yeah, back when we used to be married. Now I'm married to a little bird.
I love the Twitter. Now, see, my husband Mark is more of a Facebook guy. He's not a Twitter guy, and he still doesn't quite.
You know, that raises a really good point, actually. I have an actually serious question. So a lot of people, and I bet you know tons of them, get into remodeling and building and I'm not making fun, for the very reason that they don't have to read all day. Yep. They don't take their world in through the written word. They don't like it. They can knock 2x4s together or cope crown molding all day long. That makes sense. The minute you have to read for 15 or 20 minutes, you're not interested, you don't care, and then there's a whole other language. So should someone and can someone actually hire social media managers like you guys to make sense of it and do that part? Like, they don't do their own plumbing. Why would they do their own Twitter?
Of course.
That's a good question.
That's what these two do for a living.
Definitely. Or they're too busy. You know, they're out in the field all the time.
Now, how do you get started, Carol, with somebody who is like, I guess I should be on Twitter. What do? I guess I need to have a name or something. You know, they're that far, like, getting started.
Custom man.
What does the @ mean? I don't understand. You want me to tag someone? Like, how do you get them started with understanding it so that you're communicating their message with other people that, you know, they would communicate with if they knew the language?
Well, there's 3 different levels. So there's a total do-it-yourselfer, and they want to know everything so they can handle it themselves. Then there's somebody who needs a little bit of guidance. Then there's somebody who just says, take it over for me. I can't I can't do this, it's too much time, I don't want to know all the intricacies. So it depends on which level they're at. And then depending on the level, we can go down and figure out what they need.
Okay.
That's a good way
That's a really
to
good
answer,
way.
do remodelers need Twitter?
It is a really good way of answering the question. And I think it really is like a water cooler because, you know, for the guy that has maybe 1 or 2 employees and, you know, you're to network with people, you know, if you're in NARI or if you're not in NARI, if you are trying to connect with other people, it really is, I think, a beneficial way of making friends.
Yeah, if you can do it locally, which is what it seems like everybody's saying, that you don't have to be like best buddies with someone in Colorado. Like, that's cool if you go to the remodeling show or JLC Live or the builder show, but it doesn't help you day to day unless, you know.
What if you have a problem, though? You want to ask a question from a colleague?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course.
DM me.
Yes. It happens every single day.
Right, and that's a great way to connect with peers in the same industry, you know, because they're not your competitors. So if somebody's in Colorado, that's another plumber in Colorado, then you can ask them a question because they're not going to feel that they're in competition with you.
Which is a lot of what happens on Construction Chat every Thursday, is that Bridget poses the questions, and then all of us together collaborate on the answers, and that's a whole sharing of information that you wouldn't normally get if you were on a more local level, because people are afraid of their competition.
Sure.
It's a think tank.
It is.
It's
Plus,
a think tank.
you know, in like other states, they probably don't even have codes, so who cares?
Not like California.
No, I don't know. Use 3 joist hangers and a 2x4
Answer for everything.
and drywall screws. That's it. That's all you need.
The only fastener you need is a drywall screw.
Yeah, I just described the last deck I built, by the way.
Well, I really like Construction Chat, and for everybody that's listening and watching, it's hashtag CONST chat. East Coast time, right, guys?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're so polite. Everybody's
You
waiting
know,
for everyone else to
everyone is.
answer. This is lovely.
It is really nice. You guys are really awesome, and it's interesting to see, you know, because you know, the designers are on Twitter a lot talking. There's all different kinds of design chats in the construction industry, but construction chat isn't something that there aren't a lot of. So this is a place that if you are unsure about getting involved in Twitter, is a place to go, and you could probably ask Tess or Carol or Bridget questions about what am I doing? Can you help me get on Twitter?
Can you answer for me why remodelers need Twitter? Why I need this? And it's a safe place to go, not get, you know, slammed around by a bunch of lunkheads who are going to take advantage of you.
Well, it's like that movie that we just saw, Chef.
Chef.
Now, did any of you guys see the movie Chef yet?
Oh,
No.
It's at the top of my list.
Oh, you should see it because Twitter is part of the movie. And so the guy doesn't understand what Twitter is, and he thinks he's sending a direct message, and he's not.
He's not.
And it's a message he should not send. But it actually really helps him out because he was brutally honest with what he was saying because he didn't think that anybody was really listening to him. So if you are interested in Twitter and you're not sure the power of Twitter, watch Chef. It's a really good.
It really is, and
Yeah.
it's not really, what's that word I was going
And that
for?
woman,
It's not
Sophia, is,
Yeah.
what's her name?
Sophia.
Vergara? What's her name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
obviously Vergara.
She's that gorgeous woman on the, what's that show called?
Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Yes.
So she's gorgeous. She's in the movie, and you learn about Twitter too. So it's a win-win for everybody.
And food trucks, and lots of cool cooking scenes.
Oh.
I can't cook a grilled cheese the same way again, I swear.
But you now have, like, you understand a little more about Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand a little bit more about Twitter.
You know.
But I got to go check Facebook right now.
Oh,
Because someone
let's go.
might have posted a picture of their cat, dog, or campfire blowing up in the backyard. So
Yeah,
Tess
thank
and
you.
Bridget and Carol for joining us.
Everyone check out their weekly construction chat, CONST chat.
Hashtag.
Yes.
Thursdays at noon East Coast time. We'll be there. They'll be there. Ask some questions. They can help you out. And we've got to go.
So you can watch
you.
this video at MyFixitUpLife.com.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
you.